Hi guys. Welcome to this video. In this video we learn prepositions which come with different words. This topic is very important and practical. Please watch it carefully and try to make a sentence with each word. Depend, on or upon, not from. Don't say, it depends from her. Say, it depends on, or upon, her. Rely on or upon. Example. I can't rely on, or upon, him. Deprive, of, not from. Don't say, Nelson Mandela was deprived from his freedom. Say, Nelson Mandela was deprived of his freedom. Die. Of an illness, not from an illness. Don't say, many people have died from malaria. Say, many people have died of malaria. People die of illness. Of hunger. Of thirst. Of or from wounds, from overwork. By, violence, by the sword. By pestilence. In battle for their country. For a cause, through neglect. On the scaffold, at the stake. Different, from, not than. Don't say, my book is different than yours. Say, my book is different from yours. Disappointed, by. About or. At, not from. By, at, about. Don't say, Philippa was disappointed from the low marks she got in the test. Say, Philippa was disappointed by /about/ at the low marks she got in the test. Be, with, or, in. Don't say, Jane was disappointed from her son. Say, Jane was disappointed with / in her son. Before a person we use, with, or, in, before a thing we use, at, about, or, by, and before a gerund we use, at. Keith is very disappointed at not winning the prize. We can use that before a new clause. I was disappointed that I didn't get an invitation. Divide into parts, not in parts. Don't say, I divided the cake in 4 parts. Say, I divided the cake into 4 parts. A thing may be divided in half or in 2. Paul divided the apple in half, or in 2. No doubt of or about, not for. Don't say, I've no doubt for his ability. Say, I've no doubt of, or about, his ability. Doubtful of, I am doubtful of his ability to pass. Dressed, in, not with. Don't say, the woman was dressed with black. Say, the woman was dressed in black. The woman was in black is also correct. Exception, to, not. Of. Don't say, this is an exception of the rule. Say, this is an exception to the rule. We say with the exception of. Example. She liked all her subjects with the exception of physics. Exchange, for, not by. Don't say, he exchanged his collection for matchboxes by some foreign stamps. Say, he exchanged his collection of matchboxes for some foreign stamps. Note, in exchange for. He gave them his old car in exchange for a new one. Fail. In, not from. Don't say, Stephen failed from math last year. Say, Stephen failed in math last year. Full, of, not with or from. Don't say, the jar was full with, or from, oil. Say, the jar was full of oil. Note, fill. Takes. With. Jane filled the glass with water. Get rid of, not from. Don't say, I'll be glad to get rid from him. Say, I'll be glad to get rid of him. Glad. About, not from or with. Don't say, Francis was glad from, or with, receiving your letter. Say, Francis was glad about receiving your letter. Good, at, not in. Don't say, my sister's good in math. Say, my sister's good at math. Bad at, clever at, quick at, slow at, etc. However, weak in, he's weak in grammar. He's good in class means that his conduct is good. Guard. Against, not from. Don't say, you must guard from bad habits. Say, you must guard against bad habits. Guilty, of, not for. Don't say, he was found guilty for murder. Say, he was found guilty of murder. Independent, of, not from. Don't say, Claire's independent from her parents. Say, Claire's independent of her parents. We say dependent on, a child is dependent on its parents. Indifferent, to, not for. Don't say, they're indifferent for politics. Say, they're indifferent to politics. Insist, on, not to. Don't say, he always insisted to his opinion. Say, he always insisted on his opinion. Note, persist take. In, he persisted in his silly ideas. Interested, in, not for. Don't say, she's not interested for her work. Say, she's not interested in her work. Take an interest in. She takes a great interest in music.